I don't think I've really stated how much I love horror as a genre. Like, sure, I've made it clear that I am a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, maybe a little bit too much, but when it comes to the genre as a whole, it is my favorite by a long shot. Whether it's horror games, horror novels, horror manga, television shows, I absolutely love everything about it, and most importantly, horror movies, and even more specifically, slasher movies. Slashers are a subgenre of film that I am always down to watch no matter what. In fact, I probably should watch more of them. I still haven't watched the original Halloween, and I probably should. The 2017 reboot was awesome, but god, the two sequels that followed were terrible. That's a discussion for another time. Despite slashers being more popular than ever though, it really seems like there hasn't been an original notable one for years. It's kind of been the same few ones from the 80s and 90s with a few outliers. Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Leatherface, Ghostface, a Friday Night Funkin' fan, or at least that's what I would be saying if it wasn't for the topic of today's video, the Terrifier movies, or more specifically the main villain from these movies, Art the Clown. Ever since I discovered this monochromaniac all the way back in 2019 thanks to the kill count on his first feature-length film, which coincidentally was released the same year those weird-ass clown sightings happened, I have adored every aspect of not just the movies, but Art himself, to the point that I can very confidently say that he is my favorite slasher killer ever. There are a lot of reasons as to why Art the Clown is as big an icon as he has now, and because it happens to be Halloween, which is my favorite holiday, I thought it would be pretty fun to go into my personal reasons as to why he is my favorite, which, to dumb it down, is due to three key aspects: his design, his personality, and the way he conducts his killings, which also ties into his personality. Saying that out loud probably put me on a watch list. Before I start giving my reasoning as to why I like this evil fucking clown, I will happily make the obligatory statement that you should watch the Terrifier movies if you can stomach it. The series is iconic for its insane amount of practical gore effects, but if you aren't the type of person that can handle that, then that's perfectly okay. But just a heads up, there will be some footage from the films in this video to emphasize some of my points, so major spoiler warning. And the bloody stuff is obviously censored like crazy. Not trying to get sniped by YouTube. Either way, I want to showcase my love for this guy to as many people as possible. Whether you already hate him or love him, I'm here to show you my perspective. In any case, let me tell you all about my favorite horror slasher killer ever. Starting off with... This section isn't going to be very long, but come on man, I gotta say something about Art's looks. I'm gonna state the obvious, this dude sticks out like a sore thumb, but I love the way he does. With other slasher killers, they also stick out compared to your average person, but I'd argue none of them do it like Art does. And I think that's so genius that he only does so using two colors that are seen as pretty boring, white and black. These two colors obviously complement each other very well. And I love the fact that his entire outfit is essentially just stripes. His hat is black, his bald cap and face are white, part of his makeup is black, his collar is white and black, and his jumpsuit features horizontal stripes. Obviously I like his outfit and color scheme a lot, but the detail I like the most is definitely his black face paint. I don't exactly know how to explain it in a way that makes sense, but the best I can do is that it's subtle but also in your face at the same time. Quite literally. I'm not gonna over explain it, I just love that aspect of him a lot. But the thing I love most about this color scheme is how much his teeth stand out. You never really expect a slasher killer's teeth to become a key aspect of their design, but with Art, it is probably the most defining part of him besides his main color palette. The contrast of his white face with his disgusting yellow teeth and uncomfortably dark red gums is just so cool. And he still has better dental hygiene than your average British person. The last thing I want to touch on about Art's design is the fact that his outfit being majority white makes it so fucking good for getting blood on him, which was definitely deliberate considering how gory these films are. And the contrast of his design before murder scene as after is not only laughably funny to compare, but also genuinely fucking terrifying. Art being covered in blood is basically a part of his design, to the point that if you just Google Art the Clown, the first image of him to appear is him covered in blood in a scene from the second movie, which while other slasher killers do get blood on them, Art's outfit really utilizes it the most because of it mostly being white, and it makes him stand out even more than he already does. Blood is a key part of Art's design, and for a slasher killer, that is both awesome and horrifying at the same time, and I love it. Last thing I do want to touch on is the clown aspect of Art's design, which I probably should have done before, but oh well, I'm doing it now. When it comes to clowns being depicted in horror, I've never really cared much for them despite thinking it's a cool concept. I thought Pennywise was kind of neat looking, and the clown infected from the Dark Carnival Left 4 Dead 2 campaign were funny, but that was all. Art, however, is a completely different story for me. Every single aspect about his design gives me a weird sense of dread, which while the movies definitely influenced me to feel that way, it was something I also felt beforehand when I saw Art for the first time. Speaking of aspects though, I think it's about time I moved on from his design to his personality. One of my favorite things about the way Art acts is that he's essentially an R-rated cartoon character. And if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure Damien Leone, the creator of Terrifier, called him something along the lines of the Tasmanian Devil if he killed people. Which, take that with a grain of salt since I don't know if he or someone else said that, but I'm pretty sure it was him. Either way, considering that and seeing the way he acts in the movies, it's pretty obvious as to why Damien would make that comparison. Now, silent killers aren't exactly a new thing in the world of slashers. Hell, some of the most popular killers are silent. But what makes Art unique from them is the fact that he is still able to convey so much more emotion since his face isn't covered up with anything besides face paint. Like seriously, anytime Art shows up, his expressions are just on point. And that is all thanks to the actor who plays him, David Howard Thornton, which, off topic, but Thornton is a badass last name. I fully believe that without him, Art wouldn't be even close to being as expressive and visually interesting. Just watching his audition video, it's clear that he was made to play him. Whatever emotion Art experiences, whether it be joy, sadness, surprise, his face portrays it perfectly, but also adds a pinch of wickedness to it. Like, you cannot tell me someone who looks like this is up to any good. I also really love that Art does fully embrace the fact that he is just straight up evil. Whenever he kills anybody, there's always a shit-eating grin on his face that is usually followed by silent laughter. That makes him genuinely horrifying. He takes so much pride in murdering innocent people and finds it so entertaining. You'd think he's watching Superbad for the first time instead of throwing fluoroantimonic acid on a petrified girl. Now, the thing I love most about Art, however, also ties into the way he kills his victims, which is how unpredictable he is. Hell, he's even nice sometimes.
I think I left my bag downstairs.
And since I'm on the topic of his unpredictable nature, let's talk about his killing style. Like I said just 5 seconds ago, Art is unpredictable, and that ties into his killing style because he actually doesn't really have one besides making his victims suffer for as long as possible and carrying out his murders in the most violent way possible. But even then, that doesn't happen for every kill. When you watch these movies and he appears on screen, you never know when he's gonna start killing and how he's gonna do it, which makes the guy insanely scary in retrospect, and that's my main reason as to why I absolutely love him. Art does not have any specific weapon he is known for carrying, as the guy kills with essentially anything, which adds to his unpredictability. However, one detail that not a lot of people notice in the movies is that not only does he collect weapons throughout them, but without fail, he also uses them. Obviously, some outliers are pulled out randomly, but a lot of the time, weapons that show up previously are used later, which is such a cool detail. For example, in the second Terrifier movie, during the opening scene, when he's killing the medical examiner, he takes a jar of acid, scissors, and a scalpel. He obviously takes a lot more items than just those three, but these are the most notable ones since we see them on screen, and later on in the film, we can see him using these same weapons. Allie is killed using both the scalpel and scissors, and Brooke is attacked using the same acid Art stole. A little side note though, in this same scene appears his most iconic weapon, a table leg that is covered in pieces of knives, forks, nails, and other sharp objects, which is an awesome looking melee. Can someone mod this into Left 4 Dead 2 to replace the bat? My favorite thing about Art's killing style though is that unlike most slasher killers, you can tell that he enjoys it. Out of all the main slasher killers, I bet you he enjoys it the most. There is no other slasher villain who is this joyful when taking a life, and you cannot convince me otherwise. One of my favorite aspects of Art is that he also does not shy away from using guns, which is insanely rare with slasher killers, as it's like an unwritten rule in the genre that you only stick to melee weapons. But Art takes that rule and rips its arm off because he uses guns quite a decent amount throughout the movies. He shoots and kills Tara in the first movie with the 1911 and himself, uses an insanely tiny double-barreled shotgun to blast the head off of Sienna and Jonathan's mom in the second, shoots a guy in the neck and another in the head with a Glock in the third movie. But my favorite example out of the franchise by far is when he mows down an entire crowd of people with a fully automatic Tommy gun with a fucking drum mag, seemingly out of nowhere when searching through his trash bag in Terrifier 2. The second Art used a gun in Terrifier 1, it immediately made him my favorite slasher killer because 1, I think guns are cool, and 2, it's so unique for a slasher killer, and it's also so scary because of how realistic he is. Whenever he's one-on-one with a victim, he goes excruciatingly slow, basking in every second of killing and painting the walls red. But if he encounters any situation where he's outnumbered or is inconvenienced, boom, takes care of the problem just like that. You have no idea what this clown is going to do, and the only thing you know for certain is he is going to go with the option that ends up with blood and corpses everywhere, and I love it. The fact that we don't know what Art's real motivations are besides killing for his own enjoyment adds to both the kills themselves and his scary nature that I am so captivated by. That being said, let me give my final thoughts about this sadistic bastard. Art the Clown is everything I want in a slasher killer cranked up to the max. He is an unapologetically evil monster that takes pride in slaughtering his victims, and he does it in the coolest way possible. And whether you like it or not, he is here to stay. I hope you guys can see my perspective on why I like this silly clown so much in the perspective of slashers, and as to why he is my favorite slasher by far out of any of them. It's honestly so nice to see a new horror icon nowadays, especially one that was built from the ground up organically like Art, which if you genuinely think this dude is an industry plant, you need to do a complete 180 and look at Blumhouse. Witnessing this film go from a low budget flick with horrendous character dialogue to a series with genuinely likable characters and amazing practical effects, an entry in the franchise that broke the record for the highest grossing unrated film, and being incorporated into the mainstream like having his own haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights is just fucking insane. And I feel weirdly honored being able to see this amount of growth in such a short period of time. Which, side note, I am so fucking sad I couldn't go to Halloween Horror Nights this year. Like, man, it looks so fucking stacked. I love how recognizable Art has become to the point that the dude is getting Funko Pops and even getting collabs with Fortnite and Call of Duty. Like, tell me if you've seen any other slasher killer in YouTube thumbnails like this. Like, what the fuck, man? I can understand if you can't watch the movies because of their violence or even hating them, but I at least hope you can appreciate seeing a new horror icon's natural rise to fame. And even if you can't do that, I'm at least glad you sat here and watched this video in its entirety. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and were able to understand my point of view on why I like Art and the Terrifier movies so much. And even if I was able to influence just a single person to watch these films and they enjoyed them, then my job here was done. I hope you guys had an amazing Halloween with whatever you did, and I also hope you guys can forgive me for the short video. Next one will definitely be a lot longer, and it will be FNAF related, so be excited for that. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you loved it, and just tell me what you liked, disliked, or something else I should make a video on in the comments below. But I think my time is finally up. I'm gonna go check out what that noise was downstairs. I'll be on my way now. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and see ya. Hey, why are there glass shards on the floor?